Hello everyone, I'm here to talk to you about what we will be doing in class on Wednesday the 19th of July. And it's related to the video we watched about habits, the habits of happiness. And tonight in class, as you recall, we talked about the question up here at the top of my page, what causes human unhappiness? And this is the list we came up with. In groups, you work together in groups to come up with as many ideas as you could in class. And then we watched again the video on happiness. And our job now for Wednesday is to talk to one another about how we think we can solve the problem of human unhappiness, which is how Ricard, the monk, started his talk. You'll remember he had the line about from a philosopher saying, no one wakes up every morning to say, hey, I hope I have a terrible day all day and I struggle all day and I'm sad and miserable and depressed all day. His idea is that no one does that, and he tries to help us to understand how not to do that. So in class we came up with more specific things that cause some of our unhappiness, some of our struggle, some of our depression or our worries. And your job now, the instructions for the assignment are here, is to speak to the class for at least 2 minutes about 2 things you know human beings have a problem with. And I use the word struggle in the instruction. So problem or struggle, these 2 things are the same. You identify these 2 problems and then you come up with some ideas for how to solve the problem. And it will be good for you to give specific examples of how do human beings then stop worrying about these things, stop caring too much about what the outside world makes us see, that we take into our inside world, that we then feel. And then we feel the sadness. So specific ways that you think this can be fixed. I think you have some choices for presenting to us how you think we fix the problem. Number 1 is you can take the idea from your solutions from the Habits of Happiness video. He gives a lot of very good ideas near the end about how to have a specific state of mind, to be in a place of feeling well about yourself. So you can use some of his ideas if you would like. Also, you know, I have to go find my document. Hold on a minute. Also, you know, I passed out, I have to go find it. Here it is. I passed out this article at the end of class. The Expert's Guide to Contentment. Contentment is like happiness. And so you can read through this article. It might give you some ideas. There are 3 areas about social interaction, about being around people, about our dependence, or how much we use or make a part of our life, phones and computers, and maybe even social media fits in here. And then the last section is on being happy through finding something important about your life, and making that what matters. So you can use this article to help you come up with solutions, or the other choice is that you can, where's that one? There it is. You can go to your, what you know about your own culture. Think about what you know about your own culture, and give examples of how your own culture does something very well that you think could help all human beings around the world to solve this problem. And this idea about being happy came to me after we talked about some of the ideas about American life, when we talked about equality and privacy. And we didn't talk about everything related to American life. Those were just 2 things. But I thought, you know, we shared our opinions that night, and many of us were identifying problems with American culture. And so, of course, we could be talking about unhappiness throughout the world. We could talk about, in your presentation for Wednesday, you could be talking about unhappiness that you see just in America. It might be more specific to your country. So you will tell us that at the beginning of your presentation. Tell us the 2 things that you want to talk to us about, the 2 problems, and then give us those examples for how can we help human beings to, and these are words that I took from Ricard's video, have a different state of mind or a state of being, so that we keep what's on the outside in reality away from our inside minds and hearts, to keep those bad feelings away from us. So I'm very excited to hear your ideas. Again, I want to remind you, you can use problems from this list, but if you come up with different problems, that will be fine also. And then one other requirement for the presentation is that you please make sure you try to use some new words, some new vocabulary. Maybe this vocabulary comes from the vocabulary list I passed out in class. I've been keeping every class period notes on words that we talk about because you're not sure what they mean, and then we talk about them and you seem to understand them better. So the only way you learn those new words is by using them yourself. So you could take the words from the vocabulary list. You could watch Ricard's video again and look at the words in that transcript to see which words you don't know, and try to use some of his vocabulary, because obviously he knows a lot about happiness. He's giving us a presentation on it. He spends time with people in that part of the world, and in his community of monks, where they are trying to always pursue and be in a state of mind of happiness. And then you could also borrow ideas or words from that article on contentment, and then of course any other words that you need to look up. But I hope that you will say some words in your presentation that you haven't used before, some new words so that you can learn some new words, and then also say some words during the presentation that maybe your classmates, maybe the people in class don't know, and then we start to teach one another new words. So all of our new vocabulary words are coming from you, not from me. This is a better way to learn, because then you identify what you need to learn. So I'm very excited to hear some of your new words in your presentation. I also mentioned at the end of class that you can write out your presentation, have some notes, so that when you talk to us, you can read a little bit from your notes, but it would be better for you just to speak to us. So if you need to write it out, please do that, and then maybe practice a little bit. Read it to yourself. Try to pretend you are in class giving the presentation. So do a little, it's called rehearsal, practice before you come to class. So you don't have to read from it, but you can kind of talk to us. And that will help you to feel like you're getting practice being fluent with English, just talking to us and not having to read what you wrote. I'm very excited to hear your ideas on Wednesday night, and I look forward to seeing you then.